The state of emergency is in effect nationwide, and the duration of the state of emergency is set to 1 year.
Thank you for the time given to me. In this lovely opportunity, I will introduce to you about our material and the introduction of our issues. Our groups take an issue from Myanmar. It is Myanmar Coup and connected to our topic today, that is conflict. So, what is conflict? There are 3 points of view about conflict. First, from KBBI, that defined conflict as an active disagreement between people with opposing opinions or principles. Conflict is also defined as a fighting between 2 or more groups of people or country. As you can see in the PowerPoint, Cambridge English Dictionary defined that conflict is a clash between individuals arising out of a difference in thought process, attitudes, understanding, interests, requirements, and even sometimes perceptions. A conflict results in heated arguments, physical abuses, and definitely loss of peace and harmony. A conflict not only arises between individuals but also among countries, political parties, and states as well. And the last is from Management Study Guide that emphasizes that a small conflict not controlled at the correct time may lead to a large war and rifts among countries, leading to major unrest and disharmony. Honorable audiences, conflict does not only occur among individuals, groups, or countries. Conflict covers a broader and varied range. For example, conflicts can occur between individuals and groups, individuals and countries, and etc. Conflict arises because there are no parties willing to give in to differences of opinion or thought, each party imposing its will on the other. Based on those definitions of concept, we can take a summary that conflict is related to a fight, struggle, battle which especially a prolonged struggle and a clash of difference. Thank you.
What is happening in Myanmar currently? Right now, Myanmar is currently experiencing a military coup that led by Min Aung Hlaing, the military senior general. This issue stems from the military's dissatisfactions with the election results that won twice by the National League for Democracy or NLD parties in 2015 and 2020 that represented by Aung San Suu Kyi after nearly 50 years of military rule.
And now I will explain why the world criticized this conflict. As anti-coup demonstrations continued to flourish until Sunday, February 28, military personnel went into action to pull back the masses but not only used rubber bullets, water cannons, and tear gas to disperse the masses, but also sharp bullets. That way, Myanmar watched the bloodiest day with the death toll of 38 and a total death toll of more than 50 people. And one of the examples of this criticism is the United Nations Security Council eventually approved a draft declaration of attitude to condemn Myanmar security forces' violence against protesters. They also expressed concern because Myanmar officials hold medical personnel, union members, journalists to citizens. UN Security Council is urging the military of Myanmar to immediately release all detained demonstrators. Independent UN human rights officials are urging the UN to sanction banning arms transaction to Myanmar worldwide. They also urge the UN to impose a specific economic sanctions and pursue military-related governments or business in Myanmar. And that's one of the ways how the world criticized this conflict.
According to AAPP, stands for Assistance Association for Political Prisoners, the data has been shown that 598 people had been killed and also 2,847 people were detained. It all happened since February 1st until April 7, 2021. Based on the reports from some local media, the military is increasingly arresting anyone who rejects military rule. Furthermore, the United Nations Security Council, to be more precise, has responded to this issue. A draft Security Council statement that calls on Myanmar's military junta to exercise complete restraint has been proposed and discussed since Friday, March 5, 2021.
Because the violence and human rights violations that have resulted from opposing the coup has attracted the world's attention. UN Human Rights Commissioner Michelle Bachelet says that countries with influence need to immediately apply joint pressure on the military in Myanmar to halt severe human rights violations and possible crimes against humanity to the people. Several member countries of the UN Security Council, such as China, Russia, India, and Vietnam, suggested amendments to several statements such as the use of word coup and threats. In a press statement issued by the United Nations in February, the UN Security Council expressed concern over this issue in Myanmar. In the statement, the UN Security Council also called on the Myanmar military to release all those detained, including de facto leader Aung San Suu Kyi and other civilian government officials. Not only the UN, but ASEAN has also discussed the conflict that occurred in Myanmar. Several ASEAN member countries such as Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore expressed concern over this conflict and called for all parties to exercise restraint and endeavor to resolve this issue peacefully. However, other member countries chose not to comment further and considered that this was a domestic problem that Myanmar could solve. Several other member countries even did not respond at all regarding the military coup in Myanmar.